Still got more work to do, but this Holiday Inn Express here at in Dodge City is really nice, really updated. Pretty, I don't know how old it is, but it's really nice. So anyway, as you can see, the skies are cloudy over Dodge City, but I talked to the little hotel receptionist guy, and he said that it's supposed to clear off and be nice and hot today. Here's a little statue of Doc Holliday, and so I'm gonna get a little feel of what it might feel like to sit here right next to Doc Holliday while he's playing poker. But as you can see, he's going for his gun, and I don't really like that very much. So anyway, I'm gonna just quietly move from this situation. Pretty cool little statue right here. Monster Energy, that kind of seems out of place. But anyway, take care, Doc. Alright, I went in there and I bought the coolest white buffalo statue, and then I had to come back and I had to get my hat, because you can't go to old Dodge City without your hat. So I got my hat, and look, already the sun is shining. Beautiful day already. Of course, it's a little cloudy over there, but look over here, it's really sunny. Old Dodge City. Like the new, you know, exhibits. Okay, here's the gravesite of Lizzy Palma, dance hall girl. Died from an infected scalp wound that occurred during a barroom brawl. She is rumored to have fought over Bat Masterson with another soiled dove, as the sign says. A group of cowboys voted to pay for her funeral. The service was conducted by a young Reverend Ormond Wright after another minister refused. Picture of Dodge City in 1882. The population was 1,200. They have refurbished this place to look just like the picture. It is a beautiful day. Okay, I just came out of the general store. Now I gotta go into the Long Branch Saloon, see what I can get, if I can get something to drink in here. Matt Dillon and Festus went in here a lot.
Hi, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I am good. Y'all mind me filming you?
Nope, not a problem.
Awesome. That's cool. Guns that won the West. All four of those are Winchesters, different models. I think everything in there is a Winchester, looks like. Repeating arms. Wow. That is crazy. Oh, and look at here. Frontiersman. We got some cowboys rolling in here.
Tell me what happened here. The fella came out shooting, winging shots in every direction. Yeah? Do y'all a favor. You don't have to pay me for this one. Well, I'll be on my way. Hold on a minute. Hold on. A little hard to believe that the director of the gospel choir would come out shooting like that for no reason. Maybe he was practicing his director. That's very clever. Where'd you meet him? Right out here. He's shooting. I didn't meet him before that. You didn't meet him before that? No. That sounds like a good story, but you're going to have to tell the judge about it in the morning. Which means I got to lock you up tonight. No. What do you mean, no?
I saw the whole thing. Just telling you he came out just wielding shots. He was defending himself.
Well, then there's no problem. You'll be fine.
Yeah, there ain't no problem. We're leaving.
No, you're not. You can go, but he's got to stay.
coming to me.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
Well, you can join him in jail.
I ain't going to jail.
You got an option. He's got to go. You don't have to.
All right.
Put your gun down.
Nice and easy. You know,
Give up.
give up. Right? Give up.
Shoot, I'm out. I'm glad you got him. You okay? I guess you ain't gonna be digging no grave. How about you? Anybody know how to run a shovel? You know how to run a shovel? In this light hot sun, you want to dig 2 graves from me up on the hill? Yeah, you do that? You're probably gonna need some help. How about I throw in a jug of whiskey?
You say whiskey.
Keep right in there.
Stay down.
They'd do anything for whiskey. Well, how about this? How about we clean this mess up with a nice round of applause for the world famous. Here's the replica of the Bank of Dodge City. Here's the burial site for Charles Whedon, 1876. He was a buffalo hunter who died from a gunshot wound in his breast. Barney Cullen. He was an employee of the railroad. Barney was shot and killed while accompanying Ed Hurley as he was chased out of town by the vigilante committee. And then right over here, J.M. Essington. He was a carpenter and owner of the Essington Hotel. While drunk and in a fuss, he was shot and killed instantly by the cook. The new owners, George B. Cox and F.W. Boyd, soon changed the hotel's name to the Dodge House. Alright, so I'm heading over here to the rest of the cemetery. Excuse me. So here's Boot Hill Cemetery, 1872 to 1879. This is McGill. He was a buffalo hunter and desperado who amused himself by shooting into every house he passed. He was run out of town by members of the vigilante committee that included James Hanrahan of the Occidental Saloon and John
Scott of the Peacock's Billiard Saloon. McGill opened fire on them and they responded, causing his demise. On Tuesday night, the Marion County Record says an unmitigated scoundrel and desperado named McGill was shot and killed at Dodge City. This is the same scoundrel that shot and killed a 16-year-old boy on New Year's Day last, without the slightest provocation. Here's an unknown kid who was hanged in 1876. Unknown cowboy. Right there. Let's walk around this way. See what else we got in the Boot Hill Cemetery. Alice Chambers had few friends and possessed little or no money. Alice, the last person to be laid to rest on Boot Hill, was the owner of an unsuccessful dance hall and saloon, a full-fledged member of a group referred to as Soiled Doves. Alice was a favorite of many. Her last words, "Circumstances led me to this end." And that's her post right there. To any traveler who may pass this way and climb this lonely hill, to pause and say a prayer for us who early found our rest upon the prairie's wind swept ageless breast. Weep not for us who early made our beds, wrapped in our blankets, saddles for our heads. We tamed the West when this our land was young and sank into our graves unknown, unsung. Josephine McIntyre. Very nice. Alexander Cole, hanged in 1876. Ed Williams, along with Charles Hill, were killed in a dance hall by the Dodge City Vigilante Committee. A vigilante committee was organized here a few days since. This evening they proceeded to the dance house and killed two men named Charles Hill, alias Texas, and one Ed Williams, and gave the five others permission to leave before daybreak or face the consequences, which advice I think they have taken, as they are not to be seen. That's from the Kansas Daily Commonwealth in Topeka. Ed Hurley, shot January 1873. He drank too much and loved unwisely. Another terrible shooting affair occurred at Dodge City last Friday. This is from the Kansas Daily Commonwealth. As usual, the affair took place at one of the wood hulleries that infest so many of the temporary outposts of a new railroad. There were some 5 or 6 men engaged in the melee, and all had been drinking more or less. How the trouble commenced, our reporter could not learn, but its results are sufficiently deplorable. 2 men named Barney Cullen and Edward Hurley were killed on the spot, and another named Suthers was wounded so dangerous that it is believed he will not recover. There's the footstone. And this is the burial site of 5 buffalo hunters who were brought into the town frozen to death. We shall have the unpleasant duty of giving your paper further cases of freezing exposures that result badly and in most cases fatally. Mac McDermott was shot by Casey to avenge the death of his friend Ed Hurley, who we just talked about. Charlie Morehouse was a gambler by trade and was killed by a stray bullet in the Dodge City Saloon. George Hoy, he was one of the few men Wyatt Earp killed in the line of duty. On July 26, 1878, Hoy was shooting and causing general mayhem. Earp shot at him and Hoy was mortally wounded. And there he lays. And then here we have Jack Wagner, who died during a shootout with City Marshal Ed Masterson. It says Wagner, Alf Walker, and 4 other cowboys were drinking in a dance hall and saloon south of the tracks. When things got out of hand, Marshal Ed Masterson was summoned. During the incident, Wagner shot and killed Ed Masterson. 4 more shots were fired, although the newspaper was unclear as to who fired at whom. One of the shots killed Wagner and the others hit and wounded Walker. Some imply that Ed shot Wagner. In later years, Dodge City residents alleged Bat Masterson had fired the deadly shot into Wagner. Alright, here's hopefully you can pause and read this, but this is all the people that were recorded in newspapers around the state that were buried here at Boot Hill Cemetery. And most of I think all of these people were mentioned as I was walking around. Alright, here's the Fort Dodge Jail, built about 1865. Kind of tight with the hole in the floor. I'll tell you, this has been one of the most fun little places I've been to in a while. I would highly recommend it. It has been a really good time, and the show and the history and just about everything. It's pretty daggone cool. Beatty and Kelly Restaurant. It is open. If this statue is real life size, he was one big guy. I knew he was big on TV, but dang, he's about 6'6" or more. This statue, called El Capitan, commemorates the Texas Longhorn cattle that gave Dodge City its place in history as the queen of the cow towns. Longhorns are descendants of the Spanish cattle brought to Mexico in the 16th century between 1875 and 1886. And over 4 million head, and of course in the casino it says 5 million head of cattle were driven up the trail to the Santa Fe railhead in Dodge City. That's pretty cool. Statue of Wyatt Earp here in Dodge City. And Wyatt Earp was the deputy sheriff of Ford County in 1876. Then he was the assistant marshal of Dodge City in 1877. He was the deputy marshal of Dodge City from 1876 to 1879. He was a buffalo hunter and a lawman. One heck of a dude.